Good morning everybody, welcome to today's session. Now I'm in a bit of an unusual location today, but can you guess where? That's right, I'm in a cemetery, or what some people would know as a graveyard. But the question is, what am I doing here? Well, these gravestones, they tell us a little bit about each person who is buried here and the person that died. Some people are young, some people are old. They were fathers, grandfathers, friends, aunties, uncles, sisters, mothers. There's quite a variety of different people who are here and buried. Now, from looking at these gravestones, there's a lot that we don't know. Were these people a jeweler? Did they work in the local shop? Were they a farmer, or were they a blacksmith? There's so many different things we don't know about these people. But what we do know is that everybody will die one day. You and me and anybody that we know. We are all certain of this one thing. And the thing is, how does that make us feel? How does it make you feel? Does it make you feel sad? Does it make you feel nervous? Does it make you feel a little bit uncertain? And that's how a lot of people can feel about it. Psalm 49 tells us that it doesn't matter whether you are rich or poor, whether you are successful or not, or whatever you have accomplished in your life, that everybody in the end dies. Our bodies are only made to live for a certain amount of time. But the reality is that when we die, it's just a doorway into eternity. And we can have two destinations when we die. We can have eternity of life, an eternal life, which is a life with Jesus, eternity with Jesus. Or we have eternal death, which is eternity without Jesus. And all eternity means is forever and ever and ever. So we can either be with Jesus forever and ever and ever after we die, or we'll be without him. And the choice that we make now whilst we're living is what will make the difference when we die, because we don't get time to make that decision then. So the good news is that Jesus overcame death. When he was walking this earth, he came and died on the cross for us. But the good news is that because he was God and God was living in him, that he overcame death and that he came back to life. He was resurrected, is what it tells us. He rose to life again. And so in John 11:25, this is what Jesus said. He said, "I am the resurrection and the life. Anyone who believes in me will live even after dying." And that means that we will live with him in heaven, not here on earth, but we will live with him in heaven if we believe in him. In Psalm 49 verse 15 it says, "But as for me, God will redeem my life. He will snatch me from the power of the grave." So when we die, there's two locations we can go to. And it's not a case of being buried in the ground. That's just our body, our skin, our bones. But our spirit that lives within us can go either to be with Jesus or go to a place that's without him. And so what we need to do is think about what the Bible tells us about that, because it's real and we need to take it seriously. For me, I know I'm going to spend my eternity with Jesus because I've accepted him into my life and I choose to follow him. I know that I'm forgiven. I've asked him to forgive me. I believe he died on the cross for me, and therefore I know that I will go and spend eternity with him. And it doesn't matter what I've done in this life. All that really matters is whether you know Jesus or not when it comes to your time. And that's why it's important for us to think about it. It's a serious subject, but it doesn't have to be overwhelming or sad. And in fact, knowing Jesus makes me certain that I'll know where I go and that where I go will be a really good place. I know that I want to spend forever with Jesus, because wherever Jesus is, it is good. And so I think sometimes, what would my gravestone say? And I think on my gravestone, all I want to do is point people to Jesus and say that she's no longer here. She's in eternity with Jesus, and you can be in eternity with Jesus too if you believe in Jesus Christ. I want to point people to Jesus so that they will know that there is somewhere they can go, that you don't stay in the ground, that you can be alive with Jesus and in that wonderful place called heaven. So we don't need to be afraid. If we believe in him, we will be with him forever. In John 3:36 it says, whoever believes in the Son, that is Jesus Christ, has eternal life and eternity with him. And that is wonderful news for us to have. And next week we're going to talk a little bit more about heaven and what heaven is like, so you've got an understanding of what the Bible tells us about it, and so we've got an idea of where we could be going if we believe in Jesus and what that destination is like. So thanks for joining us today, and I'll see you again next week.